It's the Vestavia Hills City Schools podcast. I'm Whit McGee.
And I'm Brooke Wedgeworth.
Well, Brooke, happy November. Good to see you.
I know. Here we are, a new month.
New month, and lots going on right here at the beginning of the month in all of our schools. We were just talking a moment ago about the Veterans Day programs that are taking place. Most of the schools seem to do something to honor our local veterans, right?
Yes. I know a couple of our schools had programs last week, and I know West has another program coming up tomorrow, so still some opportunities for those. So lots going on, and it's a great time to honor our veterans. I know our kids are excited because they'll be out on Friday, and we'll have the opportunity to take a little time off and continue honoring our veterans on that day too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So thankful for their service. We have so many veterans that are here in the Vestavia Hills community. And one of the things that's really special about those programs is that many of the schools invite local veterans to come be a part, to be recognized in that. And it's really special to get to just show our respect and appreciation to those local heroes. Another thing that we're really excited about, we're recording this right after our first playoff win in a number of years for Vestavia Hills High School Rebel football. And you went to the game at Austin in Decatur, Alabama on Friday night, and a lot of energy that night.
Yeah, it was a great Friday night. I have to say it was interesting for me because we were actually playing my high school team, but I was definitely cheering for the Rebels 100%. And I was so proud of our community because I will say our stands were completely full. So tons of students there, parents, of course, our band. And so I was just so proud of our community and the support that we were able to display for our coaches and our football team. And I know those guys were so excited to have that first playoff win. And of course, they did it with a huge win. So that makes it even better. So on to Thompson.
That's right.
Week.
Hey, our fans, they got to show up and show out this week. So another big matchup, and it's a region matchup as well. So it's going to be pretty intense. Well, here a few weeks ago, we had some folks from the Academy of Craft Training who were on a podcast episode. Some teachers that were there, the director of the program, and then also a Vestavia Hills High School student who is in that program. That was a really special episode.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite episodes that we've recorded with. And I think just having a student, Emily, on that one made it extra special. And to see how much that program has impacted her life and really maybe even changed, what is to come for her with college and career. That was really just made it, like I said, the best episode I think we've recorded so far.
For sure. And one of the things that we teased in that episode was something that is coming up and is now upon us here in the school system, and that is a program called Next Steps. So we're going to detail next steps as we get ready to actually have the programs that are associated with that today. Dr. Antonio Cooper, Director of Curriculum and Instruction, joins us today. Dr. Cooper, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I have to say November is one of my most favorite months.
Yes.
My favorite holidays, plural. One is the most important, my birthday, and the second one is Thanksgiving. It is great. Right. I had a lot of joy starting this meeting until I heard Brooke say that the last episode was her favorite. Seems as though I have been on 2 prior episodes. I'm feeling a little hurt. But she brought it up and fixed it and said that the student and the story of the student is what was heartwarming for her and gave her great joy, I started to back off a little bit. So,
hey,
yes.
It's always a pleasure to have you on, Dr. Cooper.
Sure.
This may be my new favorite after today.
Yeah, make me feel better. Yes, next steps.
Right. I feel like Dr. Cooper's sort of become like a frequent guest on the Tonight Show, like Don Rickles coming in to talk to Johnny Carson. As an old friend of the show.
There we go.
Hey, it's great to have you on. So next steps, I think maybe what would be helpful to start off with is to talk about the why behind next steps. Then we'll get into the who, what, when, where. But I would say you and a lot of our folks in curriculum and instruction identified a problem here early on and an opportunity to be something that we could fix and do better in the school system related to course selection and to really helping students understand all of the pathways and opportunities available to them. Is that right?
Sure. Yes, sir. Let's get right into the genesis of it all, the reoccurring genesis that we run into every year. And that is of our parents saying that I wish I knew this before I did this. And what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same things over and over again. So from our office, just looking at the opportunities that we were providing parents and seeing that they were saying the same things over and over, we were driving ourselves insane or following into that definition if we were to continue to do things the way we were doing them. And that's not best practice. We want to make sure that we are making each part of our job, our school system, 1% better with everything that we're doing. And that 1% in this form came in the form of next steps. So we wanted to be able to provide on the front end several opportunities for parents to be able to get involved, to be informed, to be fully immersed in everything that we have coming up for all of our secondary schools, no matter what grade their student is going into. We wanted to be able to make sure we provide avenues for them to be able to go to, one, to get information, and to be able to ask questions and kind of find out where we're going as a system as far as secondary education is concerned. And so that being said, that's why we rolled it out in 2 phases, one of which is our course selection guides. We wanted to try to mainstream those and make sure that they look the same across different school platforms from the 2 different middle schools and then the 2 secondary high school campuses. So we work really hard with those teams, have a meeting actually with the middle school teams after this. We worked very hard to make sure that we had a consistent look, a consistent framework, and we're using the platform Live Binders to be able to push that out to parents, for parents to be able to go in and see. And we like the format of Live Binders because we can actually update it as the years go by, add in the different components and not do a whole fruit basket turnover with our whole process. And so we'll provide those opportunities for parents to be able to go in, to see what we have, to be able to spy on the other schools, say it's a Liberty Park parent wanting to look at Pizzitz or vice versa, and for parents who are entering the freshman campus to kind of glance ahead and look at the main campus's Live Binder to see what courses they have offering, that they're offering that year, and how they can relate to the courses that they want to choose for their incoming freshmen. So that's phase 1. We have it up off the ground. It's on our systems website under Teaching and Learning. You just click the Next Steps tab, and you will see all of our Live Binders. If you're listening to this in November, then they will be the Live Binders of old from last school year. And we're going to work on updating those and getting the new ones up by the turn of the year so that you have everything you need to have before we actually open up the course selection guide. Turn of the year as in 2023 January, not the school year. Mm-hmm. The second phase is our transition events, and I think that's why we're here talking on specifically for this month. For November, on the 15th, our freshman campus will have their transition night, their Next Steps night, and that's for parents of 8th graders specifically. But if you have a 4th grader, a 3rd grader, a 9th grader, and you just want to know what's going on at the freshman campus and want more information as to what will be going on in future years, be my guest. Come on. Bring your students as well. They can ask those questions. They can sit in front of the different people that we'll have there to be able to listen to them and be inspired, be motivated, and, steer them in the right direction. So that's on the 15th, and that's from 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock. And then on November 17th, we'll have our event at the main campus from 5:30 until 7:15. And that will be for parents of students who will be rising seniors, juniors, and sophomores next year. But like I said, with the freshman campus, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade parents can come as well just to get information on that.
So, Dr. Cooper, tell us a little bit about what will the format look like for each of those nights, and then maybe what will be some of the highlights or different, organizations that will be participating in that Next Steps event.
So the format will be unique. It'll be similar to some things that we've done in the past, but with a lot more information pertaining to what it is that we're actually doing during those nights. So we'll open each one of them up with a general session. Building principals will be able to speak to the mission and vision of the school, their core values, and we're focusing primarily on academics. So we're talking about the different academic pathways. The principals will open that up, share all of that information, share how parents can get involved. They'll also share the process of how to begin with course selection guides, how to register their students for different classes, how they'll talk about the add drop process and all of that information. And then they'll get into specifics on how to calculate your GPA. You know, what is the difference between an AP and an honors class, or an honors class and a regular class? They'll talk about the different pathways as far as our foreign languages are concerned, and how to achieve or accomplish the seal of biliteracy. They'll talk about the different pathways in our CTE, Career Technical Education program, and how those students can earn different credentials that will prepare them for directly to work if they choose to do so out of high school, or that will better prepare them for their majors once they go into college. They'll talk to them about our dual enrollment pathways, and we'll actually have special guest visitors from Jeff State to talk about their dual enrollment programs and their course offerings that our students can take safely on the campus of Vestavia Hills High School, as well as classes that they could possibly take online. They will talk about their grants that they have, where students can take one CTE course and have their English or math paid for absolutely free. They'll also talk about their pricing and how they're offering all of their courses at 50% off for Vestavia Hills High School students to be able to take while they're in the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. They also talk about their short certificates that they have for students who would like to get in programs like childcare development. So they can start taking classes as early as their sophomore year. They're actually directly in their major. They'll actually be able to be provided opportunities to get field experiences through internships at different child care facilities. And they will just go through all of those courses so that when they graduate and walk across the stage to get their Vestavia Hills High School diploma, they'll also be getting their certified certificate to be able to work in any state-led daycare, child care facility in the state of Alabama. And then we'll also have representatives there from our other dual enrollment partner, which is UA Early College. And they'll detail all of their programs and pathways that they have for our students, especially students who are looking to take those upper level advanced classes in math, whereas we have a few students now taking Cal 3. And that is our only option to be able to satisfy that need for those students. So they'll be able to go into detail about that course as well as other courses that they have to provide online. They also talk about their summer programs where students can actually go and stay on campus to take classes and live in the dorms like little adults, you know, and get that experience with them. We will have information. I can't guarantee that we will have a representative, but we will have information about our newest dual enrollment partner that we're bringing to the field, that which is Auburn First. So we'll have that information for our parents and students and contact information for them to reach out and speak to those individuals at the University of Auburn, at Auburn University, AU's opposite of UA, have them be able to speak to them. And we'll have that information in our course selection guides that we actually post in January. And the other visitors that we'll have there are from the Academy of Craft Training, Brooke's favorite episode, if I might add. But we will have them there as well to speak in detail about the different pathways that they have for students to be able to take, either as electrical, HVAC, carpentry, plumbing, any of those different fields. They'll be able to speak to those students about that. And those representatives will be at both nights. They'll be at our freshman campus night and they'll be at our main campus night. Why freshman campus night is something for them to know about, something for them to aspire towards, to work towards, and not necessarily be blindsided when they get to the main campus. And just going back to the genesis of it all, the high school is huge. Mm-hmm. It is huge. It's a 7A school for a reason. We have a lot of students, and being in our community with our unparalleled community support, we are able to offer a smorgasbord of courses for students to be able to take in pathways. And just looking at one document, that can be overwhelming. So we wanted to be able to provide this night for parents to be able to see that document lived out loud, lived out in front of them, for them to be able to ask questions about those different pathways and course offerings and things of that nature, and giving answers. And even if we don't have the exact answer that they're looking for that night, we'll take that question down and get back to them.
It's so exciting to hear about this, and many years ago I worked as an admissions counselor at a couple of universities here in the state, and many schools had, and of course Vestavia Hills High School also has like a college fair or a college and career night where families could come in with their students, and I get the sense that some of the format of this event is going to be similar to that. And I just remember how beneficial that was to be able to look at somebody in the face, talk specifically about your student, and talk about the opportunities that are available to them. And it for so many students and for so many families, those events, like what we're talking about with Next Steps, more than anything, just provided a sense of reassurance and peace to them that, you know what, I can do this. I have these opportunities, or things that I might not have even known about. And now, hey, here's the place for me. Here's the class, the opportunity for me. Do you feel like that's potentially going to be one of the outcomes of this?
That is 100% so, sir. That's why I started off by saying it'll be some similarities to some things that we've done in the past, but just new information. We wanted to make sure we bared it right down to the things that they need so that our students can be able to touch different areas that they may be interested in within our high school. We want to provide all of those opportunities. My biggest driving factor is I want to make sure that every student that we have that leaves this high school experiences the things that they're actually interested in before they go out and test it in the real world. Mm-hmm. Be it college, where they think they may want to major in this one thing, and we had those opportunities that they weren't aware of, and then they get into college, and you know, those first 2 years of coursework, so you don't even get to your major until your junior year. And that's one of my biggest drivers. I don't want our students to get to that junior year and realize this is not for me. This is not what I wanted to do. Or, you know, if they're going straight into the workforce, I don't want them to be railroaded by finding out that this is not the path for me. This is not what I was looking for. So if we can provide those opportunities and be clear and transparent about that, you know, during nights like this, to show them everything that we have at the main campus and freshman campus for them to be able to experience before they go out into the real world. That's the heart of it all. That is the heart of it all. And going back to making sure they're understanding the other nuances, the calculation of the GPA, making sure they understand what an AP class is before they take it, just because of the way that it sounds and the way that they think that it may look and appear on their transcript. We want to make sure they know the workload that is a part of that, and make sure that they fully are prepared to be able to undertake it. A lot of our students are. It's just that shock of that first assignment or that first test or that first week at a glance when they see everything. So we want to be able to try to dull that shock by, you know, preloading them with this is what you're asking for before you actually go into it.
Well, and I know this is going to be so helpful for our parents and our students if they attend as well, just to have, you know, questions answered. So I know there'll be an informational section, but I think to be able to talk to people and really ask questions that are specific to their needs or their students will be so helpful. I know we've featured past episodes where we've talked about dual enrollment opportunities or the CTE pathways, Academy of Craft Training. And so those are great, I would say, to even go back and listen to. But then again, to have those representatives there in person to meet and go ahead and, you know, have a face and ask your questions is just really a great opportunity for all of our families. Absolutely. And as we were talking here and you were naming off some of the folks that are going to be there, one of the things that came to mind for me was the work that I do in public relations and sharing a lot of things from different classes and groups and programs on social media and on our website. And very often, if I post pictures or a video of something going on in the health science pathway or in the Academy of Craft Training. We have a lot of students that win awards at the Academy of Craft Training, or some of these other niche programs. The comments that will come back on social media are from people saying, I had no idea that we had this. Wow, I wish my student could have had this when they were going through. And so just the ability to provide that information in an open format and in a way that is easy for people to connect with and understand, I think that's going to be huge.
Yes.
So is there a long-term goal or vision for this program? Because my sense is, and we're all hoping that this is just going to take off like a rocket. So is there something that you hope to see in the long term with the Next Steps program?
Most definitely. I want Next Steps in Vestavia Hills to be a household name, to be something that parents go to first when they have a question about course offerings or what's next, what's after this course. I want it to be the first thing so that when they think of a question, they go to our website. They look at our Next Steps tab. They go to our course selection guide. They look at that information. They go to our transition event section under our Next Steps tabs that's currently under construction and be able to see prior videos and outlines and PowerPoint presentations of our pathways and things of that nature so that the moment they are preparing to have their fifth grader go into our secondary world, which is sixth grade, they will have somewhere to go to be able to ask questions, get answers, get information, and look forward to doing this every year for the foreseeable future. And with that being said, I left that key piece out. We've been meeting with parents on this too. We've had them as part of our listening tank, and providing information for us to help us make sure that this night is as meaningful to us as it is for them. Because those are some questions that we started off. What is it that we want our parents to know? What is it that we feel like our parents need to know? And then we flip that and we ask parents, what do you want to know? What do you feel like you need to know? So we want this to be a household name. We want this to be a guiding light to our secondary world for our students to be able to be as successful as they can once they walk across that stage with all of the credentials that they need, with all of the certifications that they need to be successful in their field.
Thrilled that we could have you on today and talk about Next Steps and all of the opportunities. So I do want to just hit those dates and times one more time before we get out of here for the two programs that are coming up November 15th and 17th, Dr. Cooper.
Yes. So our Vestavia Hills High School freshman campus Next Steps transition event will be on November 15th from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock at the freshman campus. The Vestavia Hills High School main campus Next Steps transition event will be on November 17th at the main campus from 5:30 until 7:15. And please be prepared to stay afterwards because that is opening night for our students in theater.
Yeah, there's a play that is that evening, so we're excited about that. So that's why it ends at 15 past the hour rather than a full 2 hours. They want to give everybody time to find a seat for the theater production, which also is a great, I think, a great example of showing people what arts education does in action. And in our next episode, Brooke, we're going to be talking to Faith Linhart, the arts education coordinator for Vestavia Hills City Schools, taking a look at all that arts has to offer students.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Cooper. We are excited about Next Steps and our upcoming events.
And for those middle school parents, we will have your dates coming soon. So just be on the lookout.
Middle school Next Steps coming soon, and I'm sure we'll have you back on to talk about that as well. Look forward to that.
Hopefully that'll be Brooke's favorite episode.
That's right. Thank you for listening to the Vestavia Hills City Schools podcast. Have a great day.